Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Willow may have left Drew at the altar on General Hospital, but that isn't stopping him. He is out to get Curtis, and he will go through Aunt Stella to do it. Curtis, Donald Turner, was one of the first to notice Drew's Cameron Matheson bizarre personality shift. The congressman promised his bestie that he would become CEO of Aurora. When Curtis and Michael Warry Gibson discovered that he had no intention of keeping his promise, they pushed him out of the company. From then on, the bromance was over. Drew only became more evil and began blackmailing Portia, Brooke Kerr, into doing his dirty work. When she had no way out, her husband told Willow, Kathleen McMullen, the truth about Drew sleeping with her mother. Now that the evil congressman knows who spilled the beans, he is out to get his former BFF. Curtis's Aunt Stella, Vernie Watson, is the matriarch of his family and is loved by all. She is also the hospital social worker, always ready to help her patients. That was what she did for Martin, Michael E. Knight, when she went out of her way to help with his medical bills and insurance. Martin sometimes doesn't know when to keep quiet, and he let it slip to Drew that he would have had big trouble with his hospital bill if it wasn't for Stella. We all saw the light bulb go off in Drew's head. He then proceeded to declare a truce with Curtis, which was a lie. When the Aurora CEO's defenses are down, his former friend will be plotting against his aunt. Knowing Drew, he will use even the tiniest thing Stella did wrong to hurt and slash or blackmail Curtis. We hope that Martin is brave enough to defend Stella, even if it costs him Drew as a client. Will this guy stop at nothing? Do you think Drew will hurt Stella? Will Martin step up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Stella Henry has always been a guiding force of reason, compassion, and sometimes tough love on General Hospital. A woman who knows how to read people and isn't afraid to speak the truth even when it hurts. But as of late, her intuition may be leading her straight into danger, especially now that Drew Kane is becoming more unpredictable, more intense, and possibly more dangerous. The question being whispered among Port Charles residents and fans alike is simple yet chilling. Is Stella about to become Drew's next victim? Drew has long been viewed as the good guy, the upstanding former Navy SEAL and devoted father who came back from the dead and tried to reclaim a life that no longer felt like his. For a long time, he carried himself with patience and principle, despite the losses and betrayals he endured. But something has changed. Since his stint in Pentonville and the slow burn fallout from his business entanglements with Carly, Nina, and the Quartermains, Drew seems to be unraveling. And Stella, always perceptive and fearless, may be on his radar for all the wrong reasons. It all began subtly. Drew started showing signs of strain, short temper, edgy body language, even moments of impulsive aggression masked behind a thin veil of charm. For those closest to him, these were brushed off as stress. After all, he was navigating a complex merger at Aurora. Tensions with Nina were at an all-time high, and Carly's lingering affections remained a constant source of confusion and frustration. But Stella saw something different. She caught the way he clenched his jaw during casual conversations, how his eyes darted nervously whenever someone asked too many questions about his business dealings or his time in prison. She began to ask questions, not to accuse, but to understand. That was her mistake. Stella's background as a social worker and advocate for justice has made her many friends, but also a fair number of enemies. She never backs down from the truth, and she's never hesitated to call out darkness when she sees it. But Drew is a different kind of darkness, a man who once represented light, turned murky and blurred by trauma and betrayal. When Stella started investigating a recent series of corporate leaks connected to Aurora Media, she had no idea just how close she was to something much more sinister. She thought it might be an internal issue. Maybe Nina pulling strings or someone from Valentine's past. What she didn't expect was for the trail to lead to Drew himself. The files she found on her cousin Marshall's laptop, a hacked email chain between Drew and an unknown associate in Dubai, were enough to spark concern, not only about business ethics, but also about potential criminal activity. Stella made the mistake of printing them out and bringing them directly to Drew. What was meant to be a private, concerned conversation quickly turned tense. Drew, who had always treated Stella with kindness, turned cold. His voice dropped, his expression hardened, and he asked her bluntly, "Why are you poking around in things you don't understand?" That moment shifted everything. Stella knew she'd touched a nerve. And worse, she realized that whatever Drew was hiding, it went far beyond a business deal gone wrong. His eyes didn't show fear or regret, they showed calculation. Since that encounter, Stella has found herself watched. Not overtly, just enough to feel it. Her phone acting strangely. A black SUV parked near her building for 3 nights in a row. Marshall tried to dismiss her concerns, chalking it up to anxiety, but Curtis wasn't so sure. He's seen that look in Drew's eyes too. And though he wants to believe in his old friend, his instincts are screaming that something is off. There's also the question of what Drew has become since his time in prison. We know that incarceration changes people. For someone like Drew, who had once fought so hard to retain his moral compass, it seems prison might have finally chipped away at that resolve. Rumors from Pentonville suggest he wasn't as passive as he appeared. One inmate claimed Drew ran a quiet operation from behind bars, leveraging influence, controlling people, even eliminating threats when necessary. If there's truth to that, then Stella may be in more danger than she knows. And let's not forget the sudden disappearance of Aurora's former accounting director, Teresa Wexler. She was last seen 2 weeks ago, right after reportedly confronting Drew about misplaced funds. Her car was found abandoned outside the city. Police have labeled it a possible voluntary disappearance, but those closest to her insist she would never walk away from her daughter without a word. Stella, naturally, looked into it, only to find her name mysteriously removed from Teresa's appointment calendar the day of her disappearance. A glitch? Or a cover-up? Sam McCall has started asking questions too. While her relationship with Drew has been rocky since their split, she still cares about him, and she's worried. She's seen the transformation too, the quiet menace behind his once gentle smile. When she approached Stella to ask what she knew, the older woman hesitated. That's not like Stella. She always speaks her mind. But something about Drew's last warning had her rattled. She told Sam to be careful, not to push too hard, that it wasn't worth the risk. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos has been quietly observing Drew's behavior from a distance. While the two men have had an uneasy peace, Sonny doesn't trust easily, and Drew's recent involvement in a series of offshore shell companies has caught his attention. With Brick looking into Drew's associates and Diane quietly reviewing Aurora's merger contracts, it's becoming clear that multiple people suspect something deeper is going on. If Sonny believes Drew poses a threat, he won't hesitate to act. But what happens if Drew finds out first? All of this brings us back to Stella. She's the one who saw it first, who dared to confront the storm before it could touch down. But now she may be facing the consequences. At a recent community outreach event, Stella was scheduled to speak, but cancelled last minute, citing a personal emergency. Those closest to her said she was visibly shaken just days before, and she hasn't returned multiple phone calls. Her last known whereabouts: she was seen at the Aurora building, alone, on the 15th floor, where Drew's office is located. Security footage has not been released. Could Stella have been silenced? Is she hiding for her own safety? Or is something even more sinister happening behind the scenes? With so many questions and so few answers, one thing is clear. Drew Kane is no longer the man we thought we knew. Whether he's truly turned to the dark side or is being manipulated by someone else remains to be seen. But the danger is real, and Stella, brave and unflinching, may have gotten too close to a secret that could cost her everything. Fans are already speculating about a shocking twist. Could Drew be working for someone higher up? Is this all part of a long-game revenge plot tied to his past as Jason's twin, a pawn in Helena Casadine's experiments, or the fallout from Peter August's manipulations? There are still so many unanswered threads in Drew's history, and GH loves nothing more than to tie those threads into a shocking reveal. But whatever the endgame is, Stella's safety is in jeopardy. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.